by 2025, the artificial intelligence in medical industry will be a $80 billion industry. $80 billion industry. Currently, it is just $13 billion. So you can understand every year how much it is going to increase.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today it is an honor and a pleasure for me to introduce you all to this very particular session where we are going to know more about the future of Indian pharmaceutical industry. My name is Harsh and I'm going to moderate this session for all of you wherein I'm going to introduce you all about the event and perhaps the person who is going to interact and address all of us. First of all, I request you all to kindly acknowledge and welcome the presence of our esteemed guest, Mr. Pramod Kumar Rajput, who is here with us. I would like to request all the persons, those who are watching this session on YouTube, to kindly upload in the comment section and welcome the presence of our guest. Mr. Pramod Kumar Rajput is a seasoned professional with a rich experience of over 39 years in pharmaceutical and healthcare sales and marketing, while as Senior Vice President and Vertical Head in Cadila Pharmaceutical Limited as Indian leading pharmaceutical company. In entire Cadila, he has been recognized and awarded as Champion of Champions for the year 2019 and again year 2020, as well as due to his vertical splendid performance. He is known as the Rajput of Cadila within the healthcare fraternity. He never left learning and simultaneously completed his MBA Marketing and Executive Leadership Development program from IIM Ahmedabad. He has been chosen as Vice Leader by Voice of Healthcare Group in 2020. His motto is to give back his learning to society as sharing is caring for him. He believes that till his breath, his learning will continue and will be shared to build humankind. And I believe his profile has so many things, so many glories, which I won't be able to explain in next few minutes. But I'm pretty sure during this conversation, we are going to learn a lot from him. So first of all, sir, I welcome you to in this session. Thank you so much for joining and agreeing to share your thoughts with us.
Thank you, Harsh Pandey. Thank you so much for inviting me in this beautiful session. And I'm very delighted when I came to know that you want to know about the future of the Indian pharmaceutical industry. So, with so many, almost 4 decades of my experience, I thought, yes, I should contribute something which is there in this industry, and the people should know, and the new young professional, they should be making their career in this beautiful industry, which is booming and it is going to boom and will continue keep on booming and aiming to provide and to alleviate the human suffering because pharmaceutical medicine always alleviate human suffering. Yeah.
All right, sir. It's a kind of pleasure today. We got to hear all those things from you, and I'm pretty sure this conversation is going to be meaningful. Sir, moving to the topic of today's session, which we have chosen, is Indian pharmaceutical industry: the road ahead. After taking the lead on the supply of hydrochloroquine (SCQ), India is now on a way to become the coronavirus vaccine hub to save humanity against the COVID-19 infection. Sir, how do you see the role, leadership, and entrepreneurship of Indian pharmaceutical firms in fight against COVID-19 pandemic?
Oh, fantastic question, I think. You will agree with me when the COVID-19 has started, and initially the medicine of SCQ, hydroxychloroquine, was supposed to be given to the world. We, as a Indian pharmaceutical company, and our Indian companies, they are able to provide this medicine to the entire world. So that is one of the best things which we have done. Not only this, right? You will also agree that earlier, whenever the vaccine was supposed to be produced, it used to take 10 years, 15 years of time. But our Indian scientists, while rubbing the shoulder to shoulder with the international scientists, in just 6 months of time, they are able to provide the COVID vaccine. Today, in the newspaper I was reading in the Times of India, it was mentioned that 40% of this medicine has been provided by India. So, what is the great beauty is there? Our Indian medicine, that is basically this vaccine, which has been manufactured by two different places from Pune as well as from Hyderabad. It is getting supplied to the European countries, to the UAE countries. So you can understand the value and the potential of this way that we are able to provide it, the quality medicine on time, and at the same time not suffering with any of the Indian patient or Indian requirement. So this is a great beauty that I can tell about the Indian pharmaceutical company, the scientist, the knowledge behind it, and the entrepreneurs who are making a great lead in the pharmaceutical industry. Further, to add on that, 40% of the medicines of the world has been manufactured in India. So that is a very, very big thing is there. So which is a matter of, again, great pride that we provide the medicine to the world. We provide the economical medicine. And today, this is nothing new that whatever is getting patented in the abroad, right, we are also able to provide it as fast as we can. Earlier, gone were the days of waiting for 10 years of time. So this is the beauty of the pharma industry.
Indeed, sir. Again, it was a quite insightful answer from your side, and as you have mentioned, it's a matter of pride for all of us, and we need to understand this. Sir, my next question to you is: the coronavirus disease has impacted every segment of life, like commercial establishment, education, economy, religious, transport, tourism, employment, entertainment, food security, sports, etc. The outbreak is a major destabilizing threat to the global economy. Economist Intelligence Unit has forecast that market will remain volatile until a clearer image emerges on the potential outcomes. One estimate from an expert of Washington University in St. Louis gives 3,000 plus billion dollars impacts on the world supply chain that could last up to 2 years. Sir, how do you visualize the threat to Indian pharmaceutical industry and how long will it take to recover from the COVID hit?
Okay, so here I just want to say Indian pharmaceutical industry, or whatever the pharmaceutical industry, we have not seen a dip. There was a dip was there, right? But that dip has been changed, right? Now pharmaceutical industry is growing. The products which are moving, which are being deep seated, which are there in that, they are moving it very well, right? There is no chances that we are going to degrow. Yes, of course, there is a lot of degrowth has come in the different segment, but at the same time, the technology has taken up very well, right? So technology has changed the entire things, and technology has become a god, and the content has become a king. At the same time, pharmaceutical industry, we are able to provide, that there is a complete paradigm shift has come. The vaccines has come, new drugs has started coming up, IU products have started growing up. So if you see that pharmaceutical industry and the food requirement will never ever go down, and it is going to further boom because now the IPA, Indian pharmaceutical industry's growth is already more than 5%, and most of the major companies they have started growing in double digit. So that is the way, and the supply chain management, the chain system has been very well improved. Even the e-pharmacies, they are giving lot of the positiveness in that. So we are not able to see any degrowth part. The only thing is, yes, we have to cope up with this. We have to be digital. We have to be available physical also. At the same time, we have to be on digital also. And even the doctors, they have increased their practice now through the mode of technology. Like we have DocExa, we have Practo, and so many other things are there where the patient, they are coming to the doctor, they are taking care for the things, right? And they're getting the medicines. Yeah, there was a negative things were there in between, but now when you see the patients coming out from January onwards, now the February, which is 15 days in past, you will find a lot of rush in the hospital. People are supposed to take the precaution, but people are coming there. Operations have started. Doctors are doing practice. All type of the surgeons, all type of the important specialties, they are doing a full-fledged practice, and the things are back to the coming back to the normal.
Sir, again, it was a quite insightful answer from your side. And as you have mentioned that technology is booming in the healthcare sector. To meet growing consumer expectation in a digitally driven world, companies have to deal with huge amount of real-time data and create personalized consumer experience to stay relevant. As such, they are increasingly employing newer technologies such as artificial intelligence, cognitive computing, and robotics, among others. Sir, may I request you to tell our viewers how actually has technology has changed the pharmaceutical industry in past 10 years?
Okay. So technology has done a lot of positive movement in the last 10 years, right? And now in this COVID era, technology has further added the things. So let me start about the channel management. So channel management, why we talk is, this is the one thing which a person sitting at the interior of, suppose, Guwahati, or the interior of Kerala, right? So with this channel management, we are able to track the things, that where the goods are, how much the goods are there. There's no need that person should go and find it out the things. The stockists, they are now all completely online, and it comes to the main server, and the pharma company, they are able to find it out where the goods are available, how much the goods are available, what is the replenishment is going to happen, so that there should not be any gap of providing the medicine to the last man, to the society. This is point number one of providing it. Second part is that now I'm talking about the e-pharmacies. E-pharmacies, they are doing a lot of good services. They are able to provide at a good discount, apart from the chemists which are there. So you are at home, but the chemist shop is coming to your home. This is the difference of the thing which is the machine learning and AI has taken care. Third thing is come in the industry, in the medicine industry, the robotic surgery has come out very well. Right. So when I talk to a couple of my doctor's friends, they say that sometime when we are doing surgery, due to some oversight, if there's a cut right on the capillary or in the things, it may bleed. But now the robotic surgery is so prominent, is so clear, right? There's no mistake. So whatever you feel, the things are going to happen. In our I'm based in Ahmedabad, we have one of the very important gastro surgeon, bariatric surgeon, Dr. Mohit Bhandari at Rajkot. He is one of the pioneers. There are so many good doctors are there, but he's also pioneering the robotic surgery. He says that every surgery has been taken care in that way. So there are different ways which has been taken care, and this AI and machine learning is adding a lot of strength. And in the coming time also, this is going to add a lot of the strength in it. Now coming to the manufacturing of the product, right? So robotics and AI is going to just feed the things and everything will coming out. There's no chances of getting any negative part. There's no chances of any error in there. And the people, they believe that by 2025, the artificial intelligence in medical industry will be a $80 billion industry. $80 billion industry. Currently, it is just $13 billion. So you can understand every year how much it is going to increase. So AI and machine learning is going to help us. And any person who is listening this, or person who is going to listen this, they should not feel that AI and machine learning is going to cut the humanitarian cost. No, human cost will not be cut. Rather, it will be increased, because the new way it is going to be developed, it will be more economical, right? It will be zero error, and it will be well on time. So this is the beauty which I have seen, which I have noticed, and which I am talking to my peer group as well.
Indeed, sir. Again, it was a quite insightful answer from your side. And as you have mentioned that AI is not going to replace the human, it is rather going to assist the human. I think many people need to understand this, and it's very hard to disagree that artificial intelligence will be the future. Sir, my next question to you is entrepreneurship in India isn't new. Indian business has came a long way. There are numerous Indian companies listed on the Fortune 500 and a huge number of Indian billionaires. Some of the list are especially inspiring because they managed to make their fortune during British rule when the environment was not conducive for business, and if we say particularly for Indian businesses. The ones who succeeded in that environment went to the extra mile to succeed. Sir, my question to you is how do you see the future of entrepreneurship in India in next 10 years, especially in the pharmaceutical industry?
Fantastic future. I told you now 40% of the medicine are getting manufactured here in India for the entire world. Right. So the requirement is going to increase. It is like the cake size which is increasing. Right. The person's requirement is going to increase. The new diseases, the new drug discovery systems are going to come. So any of the entrepreneur which are in part of the pharma industry, they are going to get that piece of their cake 100%, because the population is going to increase. Population not going to go down, and everywhere in the entire world. So the requirement will be there. New drug delivery system will make a complete change. So I don't find that anybody should feel that yes, what to happen. Yes, they should put the right product, right medicine, right quality, right price, right, and promote it in the right way in which particular segment they are promoting. The only thing is the person who is very strong in the particular segment, they should put his all the things there in that particular segment instead of going to the new segment. So suppose if I am strong in gastroenterology, cardiology, or gynecology, I should start building my further product basket in that particular segment. And if I want to stretch more, then gradually we should put it, but don't change your concentration from your main strength, because strength will further strengthen you, and the new things will coming up, which is going to help you also further to expand the glory of success.
Indeed, sir. Sir, my next question to you is, or rather say, it's a request to you. Sir, may I ask you to share some of your means experiences? What is the greatest transformation you have witnessed in your career span in this pharmaceutical industry?
So there are so many of the changes I had seen. Let me tell you of this COVID 2020. I will start on the other side. Right? 2020 has given me a lot of the opportunity because see, the technology was available today also, yesterday also, and tomorrow again it is going to further. But we were not utilizing the technology, right? The Zoom meeting today we are talking the Zoom meeting. It was there earlier also. And see, the thing is Microsoft and then Cisco, so many other things were available. But we were just doing that, seeing the things and all. Today it has changed the entire world. It has become more economical. Now we can click the things, entire things with on the fingertip. We are able to connect the people. We are able to have the lot of the networking is there with that. And lot many online courses are available. Lot many online Udemy, Coursera, right, and so many are there in that. So any person can sit and devote his time, and he or she can able to learn. So I also learned the thing, and I also did almost 24 certification courses from London, Michigan University, and from Queensland University, Australia. So personally, I'm talking about it. I was getting the time. I was able to squeeze the time because time was available there, and I was able to do. And at the same time, the learning is that when you take any of these goals as a true leader, you start building your people with the humility and compassion. Right. Today, the another message which I like to give to the people, that there were the three eras were there. The first era was the bossism when we used to start our. I'm talking about 80s and 90s. What boss says, everything is right. Then the second era has come, which was a managership era, that people used to manage the thing because whatever has been given, they should manage it and they should produce the result. The new era has come, it is a leadership era. So now every manager has to change themselves and they have to be like a leader. And the leader is the person who goes with the people and he shows the path and he takes the responsibility to ensure that everybody should become a successful. And at the same time, the compassion and humility is very, very important. Earlier, we used to take the people on the IQ level. Still, we take the people on the IQ level because IQ level is an entry point. Suppose somebody is coming and we understand that his IQ is very good, so we take his entry. But the IQ level is good for the basic part. Then, what is this emotional quotient? Because he or she has to work with the people. Now, there is no era that somebody is lesser or somebody is knowing less than you. Everybody is equally brilliant and having the knowledge, and everything is available on Google, right? So when everything is available and there is nothing hidden in that, so the other person to whom you are talking, you cannot show that you are more intelligent than the other person, right? So you have to deal with the person with the human touch, humanitarian ground, humility, compassion, humanity, and that is the requirement of the leadership. Second thing is you have to have very good in communication. So the communication is the real worth, because whatever you are communicating it, the other person should understand it well. Tomorrow you should not start blaming that I have not communicated. Third important thing is today what I always feel, that if somebody comes and joins you, it is your sheer responsibility to guide the person. And if the person is successful, fantastic. You must applaud even yourself also, right? Apart from the person's own ability. But somewhere the person has failed. So don't put the blame on the person. It means that I am not able to guide the person properly, because in today's era, any professional doesn't want to fail. Any professional wants to have always a success. They want to rise in the career. So when the person comes with a very open mind, any good professional young boy comes in the mind. So they have this ability, capability, capacity, competence level to grow, right? So I always say that as a leader, as a mentor, so you have to guide the person very well so that the person becomes successful. And if the person becomes successful, it is your success, because ultimately the person is going to build a value in your entire leadership aura. So
Indeed,
this is the
sir.
thing which I want to say. Huh?
Indeed, sir. Again, it was a quite inspiring message from your side, and I think it's a kind of privilege we got to hear all those things from you. Sir, I was listening to you carefully. You mentioned many important points, and one which I like the most is that, and I'm quite impressed that you have mentioned we are living in a world where every facility, everything available means every part of the country available all the facilities, everyone have the safe access, same facilities, everyone can get access, and we need to understand that now the world wide web is not the future anymore, it's present. We are living in world wide web. Sir, my next question to you is when the world is suffering from a deadly pandemic, India plans to convert this crisis into an opportunity and strengthen its fights by becoming Atmanirbhar or self-reliant. Sir, what are your recommendation to foster self-reliance, especially in pharmaceutical industry?
Fantastic question, because what a great idea, vision of our respected Prime Minister, right? He's talking about the Atmanirbhar Bharat, right? So he is motivating us, right? That you again, you have the capacity, right? So why don't you utilize this? Every person can utilize it. Every person can become an Atmanirbhar. There is no need to work on the crutches, right? There's no need to take the crutches along with you. So I always feel that you utilize your capability and capacity to get the things done, and it is possible. You can see that a lot of changes have happened today. Even we are talking about the education system now, one nation and one lesson will be there. It is like that. So there will be no ICSE, there will no state board, right? That right. So it is all it is going to happen, right? One nation, one ration card is there. So it is all a part of Atmanirbhar part. So every person who is a Indian, right? He and she can be a Atmanirbhar. Not only this, we always feel pride. We Indian, because in the entire globe, all the top position has been taken care by Indians only. Either it is Madam Indra Nooyi or either Mr. Sundar Pichai, you take the name of any of the person, they are sitting on the topmost position. So we as an Indian, we have that resilience power. We have that determination very fast. We have that learning ability. We understand the things. We always comes basically from the grassroots level. We are grounded to the earth. We understand the humanity. We have love, respect for the people. And that is the reason Indians always rise wherever they go. So they are Atmanirbhar. We all are Atmanirbhar. We should learn from our people, our leaders, not only in the political part, but the people who are in the professional world, that how they are able to lead. So this is the thing which I want to say here.
Indeed, sir. Again, it was a great message from your side. And as you have mentioned that we are living in the era where in which the world biggest and world largest corporate are managed and handled by the Indians. Whether it's we take the example of Sundar Pichai, we take the example of Madam Kiran Majumdar, who is a brilliant entrepreneur in the pharmaceutical industry in itself, and we take the example of Indra Nooyi. There's a numerous example, and all the corporates are leading by Indian. It's a great matter of pride for all of us. Sir, my next question to you is, and actually I have got the question from one of my subscriber, and he asked me to include this question for sure. So the question is, sir, what does the future hold for careers in pharmaceutical industry?
Oh, fantastic future. My God. Such a thing. See, when you did do your B Pharma or MBA, right, or you do your M Pharma, so there are enormous, like you can be a part of sales, you can be a part of management, you can be a part of product management, you can be a part of supply chain, you can be a part of procurement, you can be a part of CRO, right? So there are enormous scope is there. So wherever your strength is, you start working on that strength, because it's a huge subject, huge requirement is there, and it is a niche marketing is going to happen, right? And the requirement will be very huge, large. So start working, start learning, and start absorbing the things. And A good candidate, a required candidate will always be taken care by any of the pharmaceutical companies, because new drug delivery system development, so many things are there which is there and the platter. Choose the things and go ahead with that.
All right, sir. Sir, my next question to you is, what do you think? What are the types of skills apart from their studies a student must learn these type of skills in their colleges to make themselves more compatible with the industry?
Okay. So first is a person should be ground to earth. Very, very important. Right. Humanity and humility. Humanity and humility. No arrogance. Having the ability always to learn. Right. I'm talking about the basic part. So humanity, humility, always a basic try to learn the things, because learning is vast. Until the time the breath is there, learning will happen and new changes are going to happen. These are the basic fundamentals are there. Then you have to have a good communication skills, because in this world or wherever you go and speak to somebody, people are so much in hurry. They want a shortest message and they want to understand it. So your communication way, two-way communication has to be very clear and simple, right? You always have an urge to grow, right? And urge to grow will come when you start learning from the things, because the more you learn, we say no, the more you learn, the more you earn, right? So be humble. So these are the basic fundamentals are there, and start adding your networking with the people who are known in the industry. So it is always said, you be like a person, the type of the companies you keep. So let your company should be on the very high level or start learning from them. So if suppose if you are on the first story building, you want to reach on the 10th story, will you see the ground level or will you see the 10th level? Tell me, Pandeyji.
I'm going to a high level.
Sorry,
Sir, of course,
you will
yeah.
see the 10th level. 10th
Yes.
level, correct, na? Right? So because your aim is to be on the 10th level, so you will start aiming toward the 10th level, and then you start stepping up step by step, so that you start growing on that. Correct? So that is the same thing is required here. You cannot take the things in overnight, but your goal should be high and your working should be continuous to improve, to add strength in you. A determination will be there. And let me tell you, rejection is a part of the life. Right? Everybody, whosoever has become successful or non-successful, both, without rejection, nothing happens. So take rejection as a positive part. Take rejection that why this rejection has happened, where I did wrong, where I missed it, which way I should go so that I should not be missing it. Right? And then again restart the journey. It's always says, now, suppose we drive a cycle or motorcycle, sometimes somebody hits us. It is not our mistake, but somebody's mistake. It doesn't mean that we stop driving it. What it means that we should be more careful. Correct? So this is the way any person who is joining in any of the professional world, he or she should be more careful, more agile, more attentive, but the vision and the eyes are towards the goal, and keep learning and keep going ahead with the full determination.
Again, sir, it was a wonderful message from your side. And I think the viewers who are watching this session, they are surely going to learn many things from this. And not only I think, but I do strongly believe this, sir. And sir, I can say there's a lot to learn from you, but today I don't want to take you much time. So moving to my last question of this session, actually, we can say I'm seeking advice from you. What will be one piece of advice to all the viewers, those who are watching this session?
Okay, so my one line is that today the students are the futures of India and the future of the world. We always say that you are going to make us pride not only in India, not only in the nation, but in the entire world. Apart from making you pride for your parents or for your relatives. So think that thing in your mind, that how you should be recognized in the nation, how you should be recognized in the globe. What you can contribute, because the contribution is very important. Once you start contributing it, people will like respecting you, because we always say respect is never demanded, it is always commanded. and how it will be commanded when you start contributing it. And always have the humility and humanity, because that is the compassion is very, very important. And last but not the least, no procrastination. No procrastination, because procrastination will pull you down. I always say the old Hindi doha, Kal kare so aaj kare so ab. Tomorrow we have not seen, today we have seen. If you make, we have to make our future good, then today only we can start doing it. Write down the thing what you want to do it. If you have not finished it, again restart from tomorrow and finish the things. But don't delay it. Don't procrastinate it. Because there's a pride for the globe. And that is my thing is that I always give learning to the people.
Indeed, sir. Again, it was a wonderful advice from your side, and I can say that it was a wonderful discussion with you on the topic. Thank you so much, sir, for joining and giving your important time. And I can say the kind of energy you brought into this session was very, very inspiring for me as well. Thank you so much, sir, for joining.
All the best. Thank you so much, Harsh Pandey. We wish you a great success in your endeavor and the people who are watching it. And again, I say that the young professionals are a pride, and I have a lot of love and respect for the professionals, because you come with a lot of energy. You come with a lot of the technical requirements, right? Your brain works very fast as compared to the people who are on the normal way. So utilize that capacity and capability, and make other people to learn, and you yourself also learn, and make everybody proud while being a good citizen of India. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It really means a lot for us. Thank you so much, sir, for joining. Thank you.
On the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside, I'm alone.